So Addie Deal has in fact left Iowa. She is entering the transfer portal, and Iowa's first 5-star since Caitlin Clark will no longer be on the team. That being said, McKenna Wilichko is going to be there. They have in fact got McKenna Wilichko next year, who I think suits the way that Jan Jensen wants to play a lot more than Addie Deal did. Addie Deal, a downhill driver in a system with zero spacing. In a system with zero spacing.
The news didn't just hit Iowa, it detonated inside that locker room, and at the center of it all was Caitlin Clark, watching everything she built start to crack in real time. This is not just a player leaving, this is the foundation shifting under their feet. The first 5-star since Caitlin Clark arrived walked away, and now every question nobody wanted to ask is getting louder. What is actually going wrong inside Iowa? Because when your future chooses anywhere else over staying, you are not dealing with a small problem. You are looking at a program starting to lose control of its own identity.
Wasn't an Ava Hayden situation where it was very clear, okay, yeah, this is going to be your team. I think that it was very clear, in my opinion, that Iowa didn't really have that much of an intention of playing a style of play to fit Addie Deal. That they wanted Addie Deal to be something she wasn't. Like, they wanted Addie Deal to be Taylor Stremlow. And Addie Deal's not very good at being Taylor Stremlow. Like, we saw glimpses of what Addie Deal can do. We saw games where Addie Deal was the only guard they created. She was the only guard.
Addie Deal was not supposed to be a maybe. She was supposed to be the next era, the next face after Caitlin Clark, the 5-star everyone believed would carry the torch. Instead, what we are watching is not a transition, it is a collapse of expectations, because Addie Deal was not just another name. She was the plan, she was the future, and now that future just walked out the door before it even had a chance to begin. And for Iowa fans, that is not just disappointing, it is a warning sign.
To be the star at Iowa, I think that was what was sold to her. I honestly think that was what was sold to her. That she was going to be the lead guard at Iowa. Like, I think she was expected to come in and be that starting point guard. But like, when she was, like, when Chit Chat went down and Taylor Stremlow starts playing the 1, it's like she's probably being told, look, you might not start, but you're our 6th starter. So if we lose, whoever goes down 1 through 3, you're coming in and starting. And in that scenario, she was beat out by Taylor Stremlow, and Taylor Stremlow fit the system better.
This is bigger than one player leaving. This is about a system that refuses to meet elite talent where it is, because Jan Jensen came in with a vision, but that vision had no space for a player like Addie Deal, and that is the problem. Iowa has turned into a place where creativity dies, where guards are told to fall in line instead of take over, and when you force a player built to attack and create into a system that limits everything she does, you are not developing talent, you are wasting it, and Addie Deal saw that before it was too late.
Taylor Stremlow fit the system better. It's as simple as that. Stremlow fit what Jan Jensen wanted to do. And I've said it the entire year that it was coming, by the way. I said it the entire year that this system just was not suited for most basketball players. The majority of basketball players, this system did not suit. And obviously, Addie Deal is one of them. If you're a modern basketball player, it would not suit you. And the fact is that they ran the triangle to start the year, which didn't suit her. And then the worst part about it is they somehow went from the triangle.
What makes this worse is how predictable it all feels, because the story coming out is simple. Addie Deal was promised the keys. She was told she would lead just like Caitlin Clark did. But when it mattered, she was buried behind players who fit a safer mold, and that is where trust breaks, because competing is one thing, but selling a future and then pulling it back is something else entirely. And for a player like Addie Deal, sitting and waiting while being reshaped into someone she is not was never going to be the answer.
Is that they didn't try. And like, I think I mean this when I say this, like, I don't think Jan Jensen was wrong, but I also don't think Addie Deal's wrong leaving. Am I the only one that believes that? That, like, Jan Jensen was not in the wrong for not playing Addie Deal because she didn't fit her system. And that Addie Deal isn't in the wrong at one bit for leaving. Like, I think she was absolutely right to leave. So at the end of the day, you've only got 4 years of college. Like, this isn't high school. You have only got 4 years of college. If you
The disconnect could not be clearer. The staff wanted Addie Deal to become Taylor Stremlow, but that is not who she is. Addie Deal is a creator, she is a scorer, she is the kind of player who changes a game when everything breaks down, but instead of building around that, they tried to contain it, and when you try to turn elite talent into something safe and predictable, you should not be surprised when that talent leaves for somewhere that actually understands how to use it.
So at the end of the day, you've only got 4 years of college. Like, this isn't high school. You have only got 4 years of college. If you waste 2 years of eligibility, like if she goes back to Iowa and they play a system that doesn't suit her, she's got 2 years of eligibility left. A player who clearly was a high enough recruit, there is WNBA aspirations there. There is aspirations to go pro. Because if there's not, she would just stick it out of Iowa. And the only thing I'll say is that, like, the only way that she would leave if she has aspirations of going pro is...
What Iowa is doing right now is confusing to anyone watching because the system has moved further and further away from what actually works. They started with a setup that did not fit Addie Deal and somehow made it even more restrictive, turning guards into role players with no freedom, no margin for error, and no room to create. And when you take away everything that made this program exciting, you should not be shocked when the very players you need start walking away.
Probably the right decision for you. And even if you're an Iowa fan, like, I don't think Iowa are losing anything. Like, unpopular opinion, like, I think it's a bigger loss for Iowa. I think the fact that they were never able to get a what was her name? Oh my god, I just blanked on her name. The guard, she hooped in preseason. She was gone. She got suspended. I am blanking on her name. Emily Rodriguez. I don't know why. I just had it in my head.
And this is where Caitlin Clark comes back into the conversation because everything that made Iowa dangerous came from freedom, from trusting elite players to make plays, but now it feels like that identity is disappearing. The program that once empowered stars is now holding them back, and losing a 5-star like Addie Deal is not just a roster move, it is a signal that something deeper is shifting. And if even Caitlin Clark would look at this and question the direction, then fans have every reason to be concerned.
McKenna Wilichko is going to be good, yeah. You see those bullshit passes that Hannah Stuckey kept trying to force to Ava Hayden because she was scared to shoot the mid-range? Yeah, if you've ever watched McKenna Wilichko play, like, I watched McKenna Wilichko's team play against whoever the number one recruit is, the guard that's unbelievable. And McKenna's team lost, I think, was it overtime or double overtime? They kind of blew the game. But like, McKenna Wilichko's not a flashy player, but she's one of those players that will give you a quiet 16 and 8 a night.
The most telling part of this entire situation is how the staff tried to manage Addie Deal, because calling her a 6 starter was never a real solution. It was a placeholder. It was a way to keep a 5-star talent patient, while the system continued to favor players like Taylor Stremlow, who followed structure over creating offense. And when those moments came when Addie Deal should have stepped in and taken control, she still found herself behind the same names, which sends a clear message that talent alone was not the priority, compliance was, and for a player chasing WNBA aspirations, that kind of environment is a dead end, because no elite guard gets to the next level by playing safe or by standing in the corner waiting for a system that does not trust them to finally open up. Meanwhile, the program tries to shift the conversation toward players like McKenna Wilichko, a steady presence, a reliable contributor, someone who fits exactly what Jan Jensen wants. But here is the reality: steady does not win championship, stars do, and by choosing predictability over potential, Iowa is lowering its ceiling in a way that could define the next several years, because this is not just about one decision, it is about a pattern, a refusal to adapt, a belief that the system matters more than the players inside it. And that is where programs begin to lose elite talent, because today it is Addie Deal, tomorrow it could be someone else, and once that perception spreads that Iowa is no longer a place where top guards can thrive, it becomes harder to recruit, harder to compete, and harder to maintain relevance in a game that is evolving faster than ever. And the most frustrating part is how avoidable all of this was, because there was always a version of this team that could have worked, a version where experience and elite shot creation coexisted, but that required flexibility, that required change, and instead the program doubled down on control. And now it is paying the price in the most public way possible, with a 5-star walking out and a message being sent across the country that if you want freedom, if you want development, if you want a real path to the next level, you might have to find it somewhere else. And that is the kind of narrative that can reshape a program overnight.